Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Mr12. My wife, 30 female, says I, 33 male, am unreasonable to ask for adjustments to the core of who she is for the sake of our marriage. When I was younger, before I met my wife, I had a pretty fun and adventurous life. I drank, I partied, I worked out, I tried some different drugs, I worked out hard, I had amazing passionate sex. I never went to college, but I worked hard and became a general manager and then a district manager. Then I was asked to move from the West Coast to the Midwest to open and grow a small business. I accepted. I met my wife, I calmed down on the partying, going out, drinking. The drugs I tried were usually once or twice off while on a bachelor party here and there, so there was no issue there. On our first date, my wife didn't dress up, put on any makeup, or even shower after work. She came in a tank top and some black short shorts. I thought to myself, this is actually incredibly cute. She gives such few F's about this date and she is so low maintenance. She is still beautiful and fit even without all that. She told me on our first date that she doesn't like dressing up or putting on makeup. We went out again and again with slightly varying degrees of efforts in dressing up. Our fourth date was a big one. We went to her favorite musical and she dressed to the nines. Tight black dress, wedges, black panties, makeup and everything. She looked stunning and I thought, what a catch. She's beautiful without any effort and gorgeous with it. We had sex for the first time afterward and it was long, passionate and happened again and again. My wife had the complete opposite lifestyle that I had growing up. She is a homebody, hasn't partied, has never been drunk, has never tried drugs, doesn't really like going out and hates cooking, but likes tidying and cleaning. I thought we would do an amazing job of balancing each other out. I could make her come out of her shell a little bit and she could rein me in. We used to work out together regularly. She was an athlete growing up and so was I. I still fancy myself an athlete to a degree. Well, as my business grew, I had less time for working out for a few years. She stopped going to the gym as she got busier at work and we didn't have a workout routine together. We went through ups and downs, lulls in our sex life due to her going at bed at 9 every night and me usually working until 10 p.m. or later. We got married and moved to the suburbs. I sell my business and get a corporate job. I do well at my job, she does well at her job and gets promoted. I have time to go to the gym again, lose 30 pounds and put my muscles back on. She works from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. I don't have any more crazy nights, rarely drink, cook dinner at home and have a boring life that is eating at me from the inside. There is no spice or passion in our life together. We are vanilla. We have no similar hobbies or shows that we watch together. Mostly, we talk about work. I approach her and say, this is what I need so I can be happier in our marriage. I'd like you to start coming back to the gym with me or doing some sort of exercise with me. For whatever screwed up reason, I need this from my partner to feel a connection with you. Too much information here, but the only time we ever have something close to not vanilla sex is when we do some sort of physical activity together, like go on a hike or a rare yoga class together. I need a little more excitement or craziness from you. I'm not asking you to do a line of cocaine off a stripper's breast. Just be more open about having a few drinks at a nice restaurant on a Tuesday night. If we lighten up a little bit, some of our passion for life might come back. On our date nights, don't pull up in front of the house, text me to come outside and drive us to the nearest restaurant because you're starving. Would you mind coming in and putting on a little makeup or something other than what you wore to work? Not every time, just every once in a while, so it feels like you're putting some effort into it. There were some other minor requests. Now, her response, all of those things are against my core being, so I can't do these things for you. You shouldn't expect me to change who I am. I feel like the things I'm asking aren't excessive or unreasonable. I feel like these are the basic things a married couple does to keep a spark going for the 60 years you plan to be together. Am I being unreasonable? Well, OP, in my opinion, no, you're not being unreasonable, but I do think you went about it in the wrong way. First, I kind of feel like you're all over the place. You start off by telling us that not having the crazy lifestyle that you used to have before and that now you are boring or vanilla is eating you up from the inside. And your solution to this was to tell your wife that she's not doing it for you anymore. And that's where I think you're going about it in the wrong way. I think this is a great chance to sort of reinvent you guys as a couple, but you gotta start slow. For example, since your wife used to be an athlete and so would you, maybe you'd like to just start off with the gym or, come up with some exercise routine that you guys can do together at home or something. See if that sparks up a little bit and work your way up from there. You wouldn't be asking her to change who she is, or at least she wouldn't feel you were doing that because it's not what you were doing. You would be trying to build your relationship by doing things together. You claim you guys don't watch any shows together or have any common interests. Well, this is one and you could build on it. And as I said before, work your way up from there. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you go about trying to solve this issue? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Deleted says a couple of things. First, you need to figure out your life needs versus your relationship needs. It sounds like you're not quite happy about the way your life looks at the moment and you want to change that. That's great, but recognize the difference between things you need in your life and things you need in your relationship. Relationship example: I feel disconnected from my partner. I'd like to try to go to the movies or something so we can share an experience. Life example: I feel like I stay at home too much. I want to get out and try new things. I'll sign up for a cooking class or join the local acro yoga community and reach out to old friends I haven't seen in a while. The tricky thing is they can overlap, but they don't automatically overlap. In that example, your wife doesn't need to go out of the house with you. She just needs to support you as you embark on new adventures and or find new friends. She can be a homebody and you can take a trapeze class and come home and tell her about it. Of course, there are things you need from a relationship as well, and I don't mean to discount that. I recommend you put some thought into what you really need from both areas. You're putting all your unhappiness on her at the moment, and that's not fair. You can go get a few beers on a Tuesday night with friends. She's not holding you back from that. Second, when you're asking your wife for things, bear in mind that some are reasonable and some are unreasonable. It will go smoother if you can get to the core of what you need. Instead of saying, I need you to put more effort into your makeup, say, can we find a way to keep showing each other that we care? She's never been a makeup person and has been clear on that, so it's unfair to ask her to change. However, it sounds like you are feeling sad that she's not putting effort into dates, and that is fair to talk about. But you don't get to define effort. If she surprises you with a picnic basket and you have a lovely afternoon date, that's effort. If she works extra hours Monday through Thursday so you can spend Friday exploring the nearby city, that's an effort. Also, you need to put in effort too. I'm not saying you're not, but it's super unfair if you complain about her not caring, but you aren't scheduling new fun things either. Makes sense? Lastly, don't come at this from a perspective of I'm having a problem and it's your job to fix it. You literally said, I need a little more excitement or craziness from you. And that's kind of demanding. It's not a conversation. It should be. Come at it as a team. Figure out what you need and how you can work together for it. I hope that helps. And OP responds, this is great advice. Much appreciated. It is great advice, and that's why it's the only comment I'm going to read. Now we move on to OP's edit. OP's edits and additions. First off, thanks for the responses so far. Some of them have been eye-opening to what an a-hole I am for the way I presented this to her. However, that doesn't change the way I feel. Second, something that I should add is that despite dressing up and wearing makeup, being against her core being, she has no problem doing it for the occasional wedding or big event. She says that she likes to look good for the pictures. So, can it really be against her core being? Third, everyone is focusing on the makeup and excitement comment, and I can see how that makes me sound like an absolute jackass. The thought I was trying to convey, which I did end up explaining to her as well, was that we need to do things together to find a connection again. I unfortunately feel no closeness or emotional connection to my wife right now. I've suggested multiple different activities and adventures we can go on together so that we can share a common experience. She's usually too tired from work. I don't need to do more things alone. I do plenty alone between friends, classes, and sports leagues. I want to do things with my wife. Fourth, at no point did I ever ask her to come party with me. I don't even party anymore. Where did I say that I asked her to party? All I said was I wish she would be more open to trying new things with me, whether it's a new restaurant or a new class or activity or adventure. In addition, where does it say anything about asking her to lose weight? People go to the gym for a variety of reasons besides losing weight. Okay, well, as I said, the only comment I read I thought was great advice, so no need to read any others, and OP was able to clear up some things in his edits. So now it's time to move on to the update to see what happened next and how the story ends, but of course before that, here's another one of my playlists for you to enjoy after this video. Now let's move on with that update. I'll try to keep this as short as I can. So over the weekend, we talked much more calmly about some of the stuff that I approached her about. I started off by apologizing for the way I phrased my wants, but also said that just because I was an a-hole in the way I handled it, doesn't change the fact that those wants still exist. She acknowledged that it is definitely fair to want the relationship to be passionate and exciting after being together for 5 years. We came to some of the following agreements. 1. Exercise and physical challenging activities together. She confessed that she can't get back into going to the gym because she associates the gym and working out with 10 years of her life where she was forced to work out, constantly told she wasn't good enough and needed to be better, and being yelled at by coaches in high school and college. It turns out this aversion is something that a lot of athletes deal with, which is news to me. I started looking into physical activities we can do together, and we're planning to try some different things. We have an indoor rock climbing date planned for this week, which we are both excited about. 2. Effort into date night. I backtracked big time on the make up and be more fun and exciting thing and said that I was a total jerk for saying that, and it's not what I meant. I used a horrible example there. I explained in a little more detail that I basically wanted to feel more like she wanted me to be attracted to her. She agreed that it was unfair for her to pull up after work on date nights and just have me run out to the car so we could get to the restaurant and chow down. We will both be putting more effort into date nights. I will do a better job of picking new and fun places to try. She will be more open to trying new things and spend some time after work getting ready. This brings us to the last point, her work hours. She didn't realize the toll it was taken on our relationship that she was exhausting herself at work. She said that she would make a bigger effort to leave by 4:30 going forward and to go in less on the weekends, which will leave more time for us to do things together, even if it's as simple as relaxing by the pool. I didn't mention the sex stuff. I'm hoping that if these changes stick, that will naturally result in a more passionate sex life. I ended by asking if there was anything she wanted from me and that she didn't have to respond now. She said she would take some time to think about that, as she hasn't even thought about anything like that lately. Thanks everyone for the advice, and I'm excited to see where our relationship goes from here. OP's more happy update. She's currently planning a date for us this weekend, which is a trip to Tequila Fest in our local downtown. This is something so literally beyond anything she's ever shown an interest in that I'm totally floored, lol. Sorry, I'm not trying to brag, I'm just really excited, and I understand that she's probably not interested in tequila, but that she's doing it to make an effort to do stuff together. Well, OP, I gotta say, this is an exciting and happy update. Communication gave you guys the base to start building on it, and now both of you are looking for things to do together, which can only improve the relationship. This is awesome. I'm really happy for you and your wife. So here's wishing you both the best in the future. Have fun together, OP, and thank you for sharing. Now, let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user McPaul. You want to have girls over all the time? Okay, have it your way. The setup. I have a 2-bedroom house. I decided that I wanted to rent out the other bedroom in the house to make some money on the space I wasn't really using after COVID. So I fixed up the place really nicely. The tenant gets a private, semi-attached bathroom. The bathroom is actually outside the bedroom, but I put up drapes between the bedroom and bathroom so the tenant can walk between without me seeing. And common consumables. I pay for toilet paper, paper towels, laundry supplies, kitchen supplies, etc. I created the lease. The lease is very bare bones. It just says, you get a room at this property, you pay this much per month, the landlord covers all utilities, your lease is X months long. I created an ad. In the ad, I mentioned how it's okay to have guests over, but keep it to no more than twice per month. I did not put this into the lease agreement. You can see where this is going. I do a showing for a prospect, Ted. I told him the guest policy and he seemed just fine with it. I do the rest of the showing and all seems grand. He signs the lease agreement and moves in. The problem. The first month was grand. Anyone can fool someone for a month, but eventually you return to bad habits. His bad habit was women. He would have women over 4 to 5 nights per week. I did not appreciate this. I pulled him aside to tell him, hey, you're having a lot of girls over. You need to reduce how many girls are over, or if you're willing to pay a bit extra for having all these girls over, I won't say a thing. He initially agrees with it. The next day, he calls me down and asks to speak with me at the dining room table. It's Ted and his girl du jour, Gal. Ted begins arguing. How can you ask for more money when that's not in the lease agreement? You can't ask for that. I told him the guest policy was in the ad and that we spoke about it when he came here. He said, yeah, but you can't ask for that. If it's not in the lease agreement, you can't do that. The guest policy isn't in the lease agreement either, so I pay rent. I can have over whoever whenever I want. Gal piped in, you just need to take the L on this one and write better lease agreements. I replied to Gal, you're not in the lease agreement, so I don't give a crap what you think about it. I turned to Ted. It was in the ad. We also talked about it when you came here. You knew about this. Ted replied, whoa, man, calm down. It's just 6 months, man. That's my lease term. I'll be out of your hair in 6 months. I replied, why can't you stay at her place? And Gal said, that's none of your business. I said, shut up, Gal. I don't care what you think. You want a problem, Ted? You got one. This is not cool and you know it. Why does she have to be here 5 nights a week? She practically lives here. I signed a lease with you, Ted, not with her. Why is she here? He shrugged. Can't help it. Not in the lease agreement, man. That's what lease agreements are for. I was infuriated. We talked about this. He's choosing to follow the lease agreement. Okay, fine. What's a guy to do? I want him gone. I don't want Ted and Gal teaming up against me in my own house. They walked upstairs and turned on the loud music in the room. Later in the evening, Gal was downstairs cooking something on the stove by herself using my pots and pans. She's cooking for herself in my house. She's not even a tenant, but she sure is acting like one. Gal tried striking up a friendly conversation with me, but I just gave her absolute silence for 10 minutes while I cooked. I took my food upstairs. This is war. I'm going to follow the lease agreement to the letter. If I advertised a feature in the ad, but it wasn't in the lease agreement, that thing is gone. The compliance. Every day I took something away. I first started by removing all the common consumables from the house. He texted me later. Man, you removed all the consumables. You need to come down on the rent. I replied, not in the lease agreement. He said, it doesn't have to be like this. I removed the drapes between his room and the private bathroom. I took away the chairs for the dining room table. I then shut off the clothes washer and dryer. The circuit breakers were in my room and taped up the location of a local laundromat. I also became an absolutely filthy roommate. I didn't clean anything. I left bags of garbage wherever I felt like it. I never cleaned the kitchen and left the sink full of dishes. Please, man, can you clean up? Nope. I had a maid service. Cancel that. I informed him of the change. Can you come down on the rent, man? Not in the lease agreement. You agreed to a rental price. Come on. I turned off the breaker to the stove and left out a wall outlet single pot electric plate for him to use. I turned off the microwave, not in the lease agreement either. I actually started feeling bad for him. Gals started coming around less and less as I made the living situation worse and worse. Finally, he texted me, "Do you want me to move out?" I replied, "Yes, when are you leaving my house?" He said, "End of the month. You'll let me break the lease?" I replied, "Of course." He left at the end of the month, I had my house back, and I made sure to make my next lease agreement way more specific about everything. Well, OP, if it wasn't on the lease agreement, then he didn't have a right to it, and a good thing that now you learned how to better make lease agreements. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.